Welcome to Unforbidden Truth. I'm Andrew. Today I'll be speaking with convicted murderer Amanda Britnell. Amanda is convicted alongside two other co-defendants, Thomas Odum and Ann Thomson, for the shooting death of 20-year-old Tony Womack, which occurred on July 4th, 2014. Womack was discovered shot to death with a bag covering his head. Investigators suspect that Odum fired the fatal shot with a .44 caliber pistol, but Odum claims that Britnell was the one that actually pulled the trigger. An affidavit reveals that all three suspects provided conflicting accounts of the murder. While they each confessed to the burglary, Odum and Britnell were accusing each other of committing the murder. Amanda Britnell was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Here's my interview with Amanda Britnell.
My name is Amanda Britnell, and I am originally from Okeechobee, Florida. I moved to Tennessee and lived with my mother in Athens, Tennessee for approximately 10 years before I caught this charge.
Can you recall any positive memories that stick out to you from your childhood?
Lots of positive memories. Growing up, I had a pretty good life, considering, I grew up middle class, or close to poor. My family took us on a lot of family vacations, going to visit family during the summers, and just happiness, going canoeing, seeing my family that I don't get to see.
Can you recall any negative memories that stick out to you from your childhood?
Not really. I've had a head injury when I was 18, and I can't remember a lot of what was, my childhood. I can only remember certain things occasionally. I got hit by a car when I was 18, and it messed up my memory process, thought processes.
And that's to this day?
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with, short-term or long-term memory?
Long-term, sometimes short-term, depending upon what's going on, depending upon how hectic my days are or whatever, but, long-term, I don't remember a whole lot half the time. I think that's probably partly due to the drugs process, too, so.
Do they do anything for that? Do they give you any type of medication or any treatments or anything that help try to regain the memory or try to,
Well, no, they only put me on, right now I take Latuda, and it's a mood stabilizer, and then I'm on melatonin because I'm unnatural, and ever since I got hit by that car, I have a problem with sleeping at night. I don't sleep as well. I've never really slept especially since I caught this charge. Sleeping at night's kind of hard because I have night terrors.
So, did you suffer any type of childhood abuse or trauma?
No. No, I had a decent family, a decent upbringing. I made mistakes, but I was never abused by my family.
Can you recall what your behavior was like at home, growing up?
Well, I was good until I hit about the age of 15, 16. Then I went through a stage where I wasn't necessarily an outcast because I fit in everywhere. It's just I didn't have a place. Do you know what I mean? I fit in everywhere, but I didn't belong there, or felt like I didn't belong there. I hung out with preps, I hung out with goths, I hung out with rednecks, gangs.
What was your behavior like in school, more so your middle school and high school years?
I was on honor roll until I hit the ninth grade. In ninth grade, I got expelled. No, it wasn't the ninth grade. I got expelled my 11th, 12th grade year for having a pill on me that somebody walked up to me and handed me. I don't know, I started acting out a little bit in high school, I guess is what they say, but personally I just felt like I just didn't fit in anywhere, so I kind of just was myself. Did a lot of defending on my sister. She had a good knack for getting me in trouble or getting in fights. But my behavior was fairly decent. I mean, I was liked.
So did you engage in any type of criminal activity as a juvenile?
Didn't we all? Yeah. I mean, stealing from stores, and doing drugs, like smoking marijuana, drinking underage, but that's about it.
So did you engage in any criminal activity prior to this case you're in prison for now as an adult?
I sold drugs. I was a drug dealer. That's pretty much it. I mean, I wasn't doing any type of larceny or theft or anything like that.
What types of drugs were you selling?
Meth. I made meth and sold it.
So how did you meet your co-defendants in this case, Martha Thompson and Thomas Odum?
Oh, well, let's see. I met Martha in the county jail. I was in jail for a probation violation for possession of drug paraphernalia, and we we hooked up basically. She was my girlfriend. I didn't know how bad she was, but, you know, she was a real bad, I'll go as far as to say it's slightly, she was a needle user. She shot up meth a lot, and I couldn't do enough to help her, what do you say, aid her addiction. I met Tom through at the time, what I thought was a friend, Alvina Tanisha Brown, and she had me go help her get some stuff from his house that she had left at his house, and we had some like interest as far as drugs or, you know, smoking meth or doing meth or selling it, and I got into an argument with my sister one night and went over there to his house, and then, you know, my girlfriend got mad about that, so she left and went to a friend's house, and him and my mom wound up meeting that night. He gave me a free tattoo around my neck that I still have. From that point on, you know, it was acquaintance, you know. Every now and then if he needed to buy some drugs, I went and sold them to him.
So let's talk about the crime you're serving life without parole for now. You're convicted alongside two others for the murder of 20-year-old Tony Womack. Can you walk me through everything that led up to the shooting of Mr. Womack?
Well, sure. The morning of the 4th, I had just came home from a week-long binge of cooking or making meth and doing meth with my girlfriend at the time, Martha. And I came home to him being at the house of my mom. Well, I found out that they were seeing each other then, but when I came in, Tom asked me if I would help him go pick up some stuff for working on some cars that he, you know, did. And I told him I didn't really want to at that time. I just wanted to lay down and go to bed, take a shower, because I'd been up for so many days. And he tried to have my mom convince me to go with him too, but eventually he left, and he came back about 30 minutes later. I still hadn't gotten to a shower, and he brought some meth or ice, and it was like a 16th of ice, and asked me if I wanted to get high with him, and then I done one of the biggest shots of meth I've ever done in my life that day. And he convinced me to go with him eventually. You know, we went over there to the house where it was at, in Athens. And I got out of the truck, and he said, I need you to load this stuff up here that's in the pile in the yard. I'm going to go in here. And so I started loading things up. I'm not going to lie, I was really, really high and wasn't paying much attention, but when I got to the guns in the pile, I knew something was off. And I went to go talk to him inside the house, and I realized that the house was ransacked in, and I was getting ready to leave, and there was a car coming up the driveway, which turned out to be Mr. Womack. When Mr. Womack got out of the car, Tom come out of the house with a gun pointed at both of us. Martha was nowhere to be found. She had left. Sorry. Tom held a gun to my head and told me to put a bag over Mr. Womack's head. And I told him I didn't want to, and he told me he pushed the gun more further, and I did what he told me to do. And then he ordered me at gunpoint to get in the truck. When I got into the truck, him and Mr. Womack were having a conversation. And then I heard the hammer pull back on the gun. And the gun went off. And after that, I kind of just freaked out. I couldn't move. I looked up, and when I looked up, I seen him fall over. Tyler. And Tom got into the truck and put the gun to my head and told me if I said anything, he would he'd kill my mom and me and my girlfriend. So I didn't say anything. And for the next, I think it was like 12 or 14 days, I didn't leave my house. I just stayed in the house and really didn't come out of my room. And 16 days later, we got arrested. Just before that happened, he pulled a gun in the house and almost shot my mom.
He pulled the gun in the hospital?
In my mom's house.
Oh, at your mom's house?
Yeah, and almost shot her. He tried to say he was trying to clean the gun, but when my mom wasn't paying attention, he said he was going to kill her. So I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. That night we got arrested. I wouldn't let them take me to jail until after he was arrested because I didn't want him to kill my mom. And that's pretty much it.
So how long after the shooting of Mr. Womack were all three of you arrested?
6, 7, 8, 9, 12 days.
12 days later?
Mm-hmm. It happened on the 4th and we got arrested on the 16th.
So were you or any of your co-defendants offered any plea deals while you were on trial?
Yeah, not really necessarily a plea deal. The deal that I took was a deal because they told my lawyers, basically talked me into taking this deal, which I should have went to court, but I didn't. The only thing they told me that they were going to do is 6 months into my incarceration, my lawyer that I had told me that he couldn't be my lawyer anymore. He was going to go work for the DA's office, but they were seeking the death penalty.
They were seeking the death penalty on you?
Yeah.
Were you the only one that they were seeking the death penalty on at the time?
No, me and Tom.
Do you know what their sentences turned out to be? Thompson and
Martha, Tom got the same sentence as I did, a life sentence without parole. And Martha got 10 years. She got out and passed away from cancer, or stomach cancer, from something that I recently heard.
Did you have a relationship with either Martha or Tom after you were convicted?
No. No, I later found out that Tom and Martha planned on all of it, basically, and was trying to set me up so that they could be together.
So when you were convicted and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, what was your reaction?
I took a deal, the plea deal. The lawyers basically told me that there's no way I was going to get any better, that they were going to give me the death penalty, so I took a plea deal, but after that I kind of lost it. I felt really, really guilty because Tyler was killed. It was senseless. He shouldn't have shot him. It shouldn't have happened. And I felt really bad for the family. I'm actually friends with one of the family members that's here, of his, who wants to try to help me get out of prison, but, it's terrible, man. Have you ever seen anybody get shot in front of you? I can only imagine what his family's gone through, so the guilt, just being there. Yeah.
So how do you spend your time in prison these days?
Helping everybody that I can. Literally helping everybody that I can, telling them my story, hoping that they don't wind up like me. Because a lot of people in here are for drugs, and they just don't realize that one false move can put you here for life. And I don't want to see a lot of people come back. There's been a few people that's gotten out and that I've inspired to stay strong and straight and not come back. I don't know. I work every day, do my best to try to sleep at night.
What do you do for work there?
I'm a clerk right now for carpentry, but I've done everything from maintenance work to working in the kitchen, landscaping, mowing grass, weeding, cleaning. Right now I'm a clerk for carpentry, but I also do the work itself. We're currently redoing all the showers on 6 units. It's 48 showers. We're laying ceramic tile in it.
What does a female prison look like from your point of view daily? Is it hardcore? Is it relaxed? How do prison politics work in a female prison?
This prison's pretty relaxed. Even the other prison, when I was at TPW, I'm at West Tennessee State Penitentiary, which is also WTRC. They call it the Women's Therapeutic, Women's Therapeutic something center. But it's very relaxed as far as the inmates go. You hardly see many fights in here. A lot of arguing, but the drugs are a little bit higher than normal. It's gotten worse over the years. But officers pretty much treat you like a human being. There's rules we have to follow, and there's policies we got to go by, but we're generally calm.
Is there anything that you would like the public to know about yourself or this case?
Every day I regret everything that's ever happened on that day. I wish I could go back in time and change it. And even though I'm not guilty of pulling the trigger, I am guilty of being there. And that's just something I wish that with every bit of me that I could change. I feel for the family. I feel for my family. I've lost both my parents since I've been locked up. In the last 3 years, I literally have hardly nobody. I mean, the only person that I have left right now is my sister and my niece that really support me, and are still there for me because they know that I'm not guilty of this crime. And the only reason why I'm here is because I told the truth.
Before we conclude this interview, is there anything that you'd like to talk about that we haven't covered yet?
No.
That was my interview with Amanda Britnell. Thank you for listening.